Our next candidate is Mona Ali.
Like Jackie stated, I'm Mona Ali. I'm running for Anti-Racism Commissioner for Candidates for Democratic University. I'm in my third year at Trent, majoring in Women's Studies and Canadian Studies, and the focus of my degree has been around race, sexuality, and class, so intersectionality. I am personally devoted to issues around social justice and anti-racism. This is not only evident in my studies, but also the groups and associations I'm a part of. I'm the volunteer coordinator for OPIRG, the Ontario Public Interest Research Group. I also sit on the steering collective of the Women's Centre and Community and Race Relations Committee, as well as Peterborough Coalition for Palestinian Solidarity. I'm also organizing an anti-racism environmental conference, which is called Why Green Isn't Enough, an anti-racism and anti-colonial environmentalism conference. As Anti-Racism Commissioner, I will promote awareness on issues of race, racism, and racialization. I will collaborate with identity/race-based student groups around issues of racism. I will hold talks and workshops for the Trent and Peterborough community on issues around anti-racism, decolonization, and intersectionality. And in that case, I'll be working with other issues commissioners. I will continue to work with the social justice groups I'm a part of, OPIRG and Community Race Relations specifically. As Anti-Racism Commissioner, I will commit to direct action work around issues of racism on campus as well as in the Peterborough community. A good example of something I've just taken part in was the Gordon Gilchrist issue. The person who was a trustee of Kawartha Pine Ridge District School Board, who published an editorial that was extremely racist. I was a part of the press conference urging him to resign. As Anti-Racism Commissioner, I will do this kind of direct action work in solidarity with other anti-racism and social justice groups. In addition, as part of my direct action work, I will mobilize around issues of racism on other campuses in Ontario. This could be just sending letters of support, as well as having TCSA subsidized buses to rallies and demonstrations in other places. For instance, last week there were 2 rallies, one at Ryerson that the Black Student Union did against racism on campus, and then one at MAC against the banning of the term Israeli apartheid. There were buses leaving York, U of T, Ryerson, but not from Trent. So coalition building with other universities are really important as well. I'm not going to eliminate racism in this position. Racism is far too complicated for that, but I will work towards anti-racism, social justice, and decolonization.
I believe that you have to be considered a visible minority to run for the position of anti-racism commissioner. Now, I may be white, but I do consider myself a racial minority as a Jew. And do you think it's right that I'm not able to run for this position?
Well, you have to look at the context. If you were, are you European Jewish, for instance? Are you European?
I'm actually not. I was born in Canada, but I'm considered an Israeli Jew.
Okay, well, it depends on the context, how things work. Sometimes if you're in an environment, that kind of question's complicated and I don't have the perfect answer for that. How you identify is how you identify. I can't change that. And if you identify as racialized, you do come from a minority group in the sense that you are Jewish, right? But I am not the TCSA or university admin. I don't pick who is racialized and who isn't. I'm sorry. I can't answer that.
Okay. Another question for Mona? Okay, I see you.
I was just curious what sorts of workshops or seminars, what topics you cover.
Oh gosh, there's so many things to cover. I could do, I'd like to have a workshop on whiteness. I'd like to have anti-racism workshops for cabinets, for all the student groups. That's part of the student assembly idea, that we have to have anti-oppression and anti-racism workshops for every single student at Trent. I want to work with other issues commissioners around intersecting identities. For instance, looking at transnational feminism would allow me to work with the Women's Issues Commissioner, looking at racialized, queer, like sexualized.
Sorry, Mona, I cut you off.